Hi all, I am Kishore from Alvin Technologies. Welcome to my video tutorial. So today in this section we will see Google's Kubernetes engine. So Kubernetes engine is one of the compute service available in Google Cloud Platform. In order to understand about Kubernetes engine, you have to know a little bit about Kubernetes, and you have to require a little bit understanding about containers, then container runtimes, and probably container registries. Kubernetes K8 is an open source system for automating deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications. Kubernetes is also known as K8. It's an open source system for deploying our applications automatically as a container. The Kubernetes engine simplifies the running of Kubernetes clusters. Using Kubernetes engine, we can simplify the running of Kubernetes clusters. So we will see what is Kubernetes clusters in the upcoming slides. The GKE environment consists of multiple machines like our compute engine instances grouped together to form a cluster. In Google Kubernetes engine, the containers are running inside a cluster. There will be multiple instances inside a cluster. A cluster is the foundation of GKE. The Kubernetes objects that represents your containerized applications all run on top of a cluster. So these all the Kubernetes containerized applications are run inside a cluster itself. So nowadays deploying application and keeping them running is not easy, but different applications have different requirements. They are developed with different technologies, then deployed in different operating system and require different server resources. So using containers such as Docker, it can help some of these challenges by allowing developers to package applications and their dependencies. So these packages are called as container images. So we can call container images. Docker is a container runtime. It's a container runtime for Kubernetes. So an image can be used for runtime package code by creating container instance based on the image, and in order to actually create an instance you need a container runtime. So for creating a container you need a container runtime. To making sharing container easier, you can upload them to a container registry, including Google's cloud registry. Like when we have our container runtime, we have to upload them to a container registry for the service to start. So we have different computer registries are available, like in AWS we have ECS container. So in Google we have Google's container registry service. So containers are just like virtual machines. They are just isolated process and they share the kernel of the host operating system, which means they start up very quickly. So using containers, it will start very quickly. Having applications inside a container make things easy to standardize deployments. So it's because now the only thing you have to think about is deploying is container. You just have to know about the container. You have to place the container inside the cluster. Then Kubernetes will do all the things for you. So this is where the Kubernetes engine. So after placing the container, the Kubernetes is come to the picture. Next is cluster master. So the cluster master runs the Kubernetes control plane process, including the Kubernetes API server, scheduler, and core resource controllers. So this is the cluster master. We will see the architecture in the next slide, and I will explain all those things in the next slide. Next one is the master's lifecycle is managed by GKE when you create or delete a cluster. So the lifecycle will be managed when you create a delete a cluster. Then next is master and a node interaction. So the cluster master is responsible for deciding what runs on all of the cluster's nodes. This can include scheduling workloads like containerized applications and managing the workload's lifecycle. Scaling, upgrades, all those things are managed by the master. The master also manages network and storage resources for those workloads. So that is cluster master. It controls all the workloads, then life cycle, scaling, upgrades, all those things is controlled by the cluster master. So this is the cluster architecture. So Kubernetes is not a one thing, it's a collection of components which altogether forms a Kubernetes cluster. So you can see here we have different components are available inside the Kubernetes cluster. So a cluster can be divided into, let's say, like two logical parts, like this is the control plane and another one is the nodes. So this is the nodes and this is the control plane. So the control plane is the brains of operations. So here it is the brains of operations and it consists of an app. It has an API. Here you can see it's an API server is there, and which engineers interact with a command line tool also. We can say like Kubernetes control, that is kube control, kubectl. You all know about. If you see, you can see here kubectl is there. The users interacting to that API using a command line called kubectl. The API processes request and stores the cluster state in an open source key value database. So the data are stored in this storage. This will be a open source database key value pair. And here the resource controllers. The controller manager handles the cluster level functionalities such as some garbage collection task, and when engineers want to actually run a container, it is the scheduler's job that select which node has to run and which node has to use. So there, that is the scheduler's job. So here the node comes into the picture. The next is what is nodes. So here you can see in nodes are the servers that Kubernetes can use to run containers. So inside the node the Kubernetes containers are running. The way it does that is each node runs in agent which know how to do node related tasks such as starting up the containers, etc. So inside this node we have the containers. So it's running using the agent. Using agent the containers will start. So in order for a node to run a container, it needs a container runtime. And in order to distribute traffic to containers, there is a process called kube proxy. So inside this node, we have a container runtime will be there. Also, to distribute the traffic across the containers, there will be a kube proxy also inside these nodes. You can see user pod. We will see what is user pod in the upcoming slides. So some applications might consist of multiple containers running together. So in some applications we have multiple containers running together. So Kubernetes abstract containers into a concept called pod. So inside node we have pod. If multiple containers are running, we can use pod for that process. Inside pod there will be multiple containers running. Okay. So first one is node. A cluster typically has one or more nodes, which are the worker machines that run your containerized application and other workloads. User can create a persistent disk from an image and use it as the root file system. A node runs the service necessary to support the Docker containers that make up your cluster's workload. This includes the Docker runtime and the Kubernetes node agent, that is kubelet, which communicates with the master and is responsible for the starting and running Docker containers scheduled on that node. So what is node? So inside a cluster we have different one or more nodes, which are the worker machines that run the containerized applications on the other workloads. So a node runs services necessary to support the Docker containers. Docker containers is the images, that is the container runtime, which are used for running our containers. Next is pod. A Kubernetes pod is a group of containers. So inside a pod we have different containers. For example, Docker container that are deployed together on the same host. So we have different Docker containers inside a single pod. If you frequently deploy single containers, you can generally replace the word pod with container and accurately understand the concept. So if you want only one container to be deployed, you can use the word container other than pod. So container, you can know about container. What is container? Container, for using container, we can run our applications in the server. Pods operate at one level higher than the individual containers because it's very common to have a group of containers work together to produce an artifact or process a set of work. So pods are a little bit higher than individual containers because it's a very common to have a group of containers work together. So it's a little bit higher than the individual containers. While Kubernetes supports more container runtimes than just Docker, Docker is the most commonly known runtime and it helps to describe pods in Docker terms. So in Kubernetes, Docker is the most commonly used container runtime. Okay, so that's it for this section. In the next section, we will see how to create a Kubernetes engine and how to create containers, nodes, pods, all those things we will see in the next section. So thank you for watching my video. Keep watching.